Well, a potential Trump veto is likely to be making the Labour government very, very nervous indeed. And I did write about this today, by the way, over at VETO.news. You can read all my articles there. Please do go and support me, support my Substack over at VETO.news, where you can read all of my articles and stay in touch with me. Very important that you head over to VETO.news and be part of my Substack community, please. And before I get to what we may see from the incoming Trump administration, just bear in mind this is what Nigel Farage has been saying, that the Labour government saying that the Chagos Islands agreement has been welcomed by all parts of the US system. He thinks they are in for an unpleasant surprise. From what we're hearing and seeing reported, I think Nigel's analysis on this is a lot more spot on than the government's. Before I get to what Team Trump's verdict is on all of this, this was Nigel in Parliament yesterday.
Nigel Farage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mauritius has no legal or historical claim to the sovereignty of a group of islands that are 1,300 miles away from where it is. Nor does, from the International Court, it was purely an advisory opinion. There is no legal reason why we have to do any of this. Now, I warned the Foreign Secretary 6 weeks ago in this chamber that it was an enormous mistake to do this, given that we had a US presidential election coming up on November the 5th. And if you say to me, well, yes, it's okay, the United States are fully in favour, really? I can tell you that the incoming National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, has form on this, right back to when the Right Honourable Member for Braintree was doing his best to give away the sovereignty of the Chagos Islands. Indeed, he wrote to Secretary of State Blinken at the time. There is, I can assure you, having been in America last week, knowing also the incoming Defence Secretary very well, there is outright hostility to this deal. Whatever is said about a lease agreement, as we saw with Hong Kong, these agreements can very, very easily be broken. Diego Garcia was described to me by a senior Trump advisor as the most important island on the planet as far as America was concerned. So you're going to find outright hostility. And by the way, when it comes to the Chagosian people, yes, of course, what happened to them was truly awful. They do not wish to live. They're unanimous in this. They do not wish to live under Mauritian rule. They want to live under British rule because they actually trust us. There is no basis for this agreement to continue as it is, and if you do, you'll be at conflict with a country without which we would be defenceless.
Now, it seems pretty stupid, pretty foolish, as I wrote about on VETO.news today, that for the Labour government to have set out their position on the Chagos Islands, on this deal, on this surrender, before they knew the outcome of the US presidential election was pretty stupid. Because what you're now seeing is the pick, Trump's pick for Secretary of State Marco Rubio, someone who's told Politico recently he fears the deal will boost China, warning the agreement poses a serious threat to US national security, saying the deal was concerning as it would provide an opportunity for communist China to gain valuable intelligence on our naval support facility in Mauritius. And yeah, look, he's pretty clear that this poses a serious threat in terms of national security interests. And there is now talk that you could see potentially, in a very embarrassing blow to Keir Starmer's government, a veto on this deal. The Independent now reporting that Trump's transition team requesting legal advice from the Pentagon over this agreement that hands the Chagos Islands sovereignty to Mauritius, and US government sources there saying Trump is looking to veto the deal. So this surrender plan, you could potentially see a Trump veto on this. Do let me know what you make of that in the comments below, please, guys. Please do like this video a quick thumbs up. And as I said, please do go and support VETO News, my Substack, over at VETO.news. Cheers.